Daniel moves to Southern California with his mother Lucille, but quickly finds himself the target of a group of bullies who study karate at the Cobra Kai dojo. Fortunately, Daniel befriends Mr. Miyagi, who just happens to be a martial arts master himself. Miyagi takes Daniel under his wing, training him in a more compassionate form of karate and preparing him to compete against the brutal Cobra Kai. What's up, guys? This is my review for The Karate Kid. The first Karate Kid. So I saw this one about a week ago, and I've been waiting for the opportunity to review it, and now we're about a month out from Karate Kid Legends, which brings back Ralph Macchio as Daniel LaRusso, and also Pat Morita, or Pat Marisha. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but as I grow a fan of the Karate Kid series, I think I'll be saying their names more properly as time goes on. This is an early 80s movie because the soundtrack is very dated. This film can easily slip into my top 20 films of all time. And you can totally see why this film sparked a franchise. We're getting the new Karate Kid film, which is either the fifth or sixth film in the series, and I can see why you have such an enduring legacy. Maybe not as so much with the Final Destination movies, which is now getting its sixth film. I'm not going to be reviewing those films. I did rewatch them all, but that's just a series that didn't click as much for me. You have Pat Marisha getting an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor at the Academy Awards that year. He didn't win, but he was nominated for the Oscar and the Golden Globe, and he is terrific in this film. He's the heart and soul of this movie. If this movie had a heart and a beating soul, it's Pat Marisha as Mr. Miyagi, this handyman who has a lot more going on behind the scenes that you really know. Meaning, this guy's got the heart of gold, and he just takes Daniel under his wing. And I think the best scene of the film, there's a lot of great scenes in the movie, but I think the best scene of this film is when Miyagi has him painting his house and washing his car and doing all these things to where he's moving his hands around and kind of getting coordinated, but he doesn't know that, and he gets so upset. And finally, Miyagi kind of gets him in that moment, and they do like karate with each other. And it's kind of the first time you see Daniel really do it. And I just watched that scene, and I was like, okay, I can kind of see the appeal. The movie's got such heart. And I'll tell you, Ralph Macchio, I didn't know how to expect him in this film because, I've seen small clips of like the Cobra Kai show. So, I mean, he's an older guy now. So to see him as this young adult in this movie, I mean, he's extremely likable. He's very charismatic. His line delivery is great, and you care about him almost instantly. And I think that's the thing that kind of sells it for me, is the relationship between Miyagi and Daniel. Daniel-san, as he calls him through the film. I just think that relationship is probably one of the best on-screen mentor-student relationships. Once you get the backstory of Miyagi and you kind of see that scene that he's in. I mean, if you haven't seen The Karate Kid, slight spoiler, but it's a scene where he's drunk. Miyagi decided to get hammered one night, remembering his past and remembering his wife, who I believe died in childbirth, which was something that I just saw in theaters not even 2 weeks ago. So very heartbreaking. And then when he just kind of passes out and he's sleeping, you see the tears streaming down his face. I mean, you can see why he got an Oscar nomination for this role. And Mr. Miyagi has just become such a icon. I just think he's the face of the series, maybe even more so than Daniel LaRusso. The romance aspect of the film, I think, was better than it probably should have been, because there's a lot of movies where you just kind of have to have a romantic element and it's just kind of throwaway. Here, it's not necessarily like that. The two have chemistry and they go through things in the film. This is a longer movie. It's almost like a 2-hour movie, so you get time for Daniel to not only spend with Miyagi, but to spend with the girl. And you just kind of see this duality of his life and how he's kind of surviving in this new place that he's living in. And it was a little too long. I think that the pacing of it you probably could have shortened it, maybe about 10 or 15 minutes. But in the end of the day, other than the pace and maybe like the soundtrack being a little dated, the score is fantastic. The instrumental score, I'm kind of surprised didn't get an Oscar nomination as well. But I'm extremely happy to say that I loved The Karate Kid. And I'm probably comfortably putting it in my top 20 films of all time. I don't think it's going to reach my top 10, but it'd probably reach my top 20, top 25. This is just a classic film that I've seen for the first time finally, and now I'm a Karate Kid fan. And I'm giving the film that started it all 4.5 out of 5 stars. Other than that pace, this is a great movie with really good emotion. You care about it, you care about the characters, and you just want to get up and cheer once it ends. So that's my thoughts on the original Karate Kid, guys. Comment down below, do you plan on seeing the new film, Karate Kid Legends? You can check out my review for the upcoming Karate Kids I'm going to be posting leading up to that release of Karate Kid Legends. You could also watch my review for the 20th anniversary of my favorite film of all time, Star Wars, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. That's up on the channel now. You guys, you can follow me on Twitter and or X at RyanKing72 and Instagram and TikTok at KingOfRises131. That's been it for me. Thank you so much for watching my review for The Karate Kid. And until next time, over and out.